Sometimes, the most painful kind of abandonment doesn't happen when someone leaves you. It happens when they stay. When their body is still beside you, but their heart slowly disappears. And honestly, that kind of pain can break a person silently, because you keep asking yourself, what changed? They still answer your calls, still sleep beside you, still say I love you sometimes, but something feels missing. The warmth, the effort, the emotional connection.
Yeah.
And deep down, you can feel it. They're physically present, but emotionally somewhere else.
And the worst part?
They often can't even explain it themselves. At first, you try to ignore it. You tell yourself, maybe they're stressed. Maybe life is overwhelming them. Maybe I'm overthinking. So you become more patient, more understanding, more available. But while you're trying harder to save the relationship, you slowly start losing yourself inside it. And this is where many people suffer quietly. Because emotional distance doesn't leave obvious scars.
Yeah.
It leaves confusion.
Yeah.
You start replaying conversations in your head.
Yeah.
Analyzing their tone. Wondering why they don't look at you the same anymore. And little things begin hurting more than they should. The delayed replies, the dry conversations, the lack of excitement when you walk into the room. You notice they no longer ask how you feel, no longer notice your sadness, no longer reach for you emotionally the way they used to.
Yeah.
And suddenly, you begin grieving someone who is technically still in your life. That kind of grief is exhausting because there's no clear ending, no closure, just slow emotional starvation. And here's the painful truth most people avoid. Relationships rarely die in one dramatic moment. They usually die slowly through emotional neglect, small disconnections, unspoken resentment, unhealed pain, unexpressed emotions. Until one day, two people who once felt deeply connected start feeling like strangers sharing the same space. And sometimes people become emotionally distant because they stopped communicating their inner struggles. They carry stress silently, pain silently, resentment silently.
Yeah.
And instead of opening up, they emotionally shut down. But other times, the distance happens because the relationship stopped feeling emotionally safe. They no longer feel understood, seen, appreciated. So instead of fighting for connection, they emotionally retreat. And honestly, some people learned emotional avoidance long before they met you. They were taught to suppress feelings, hide vulnerability, disconnect emotionally when things become difficult. So when relationships require emotional depth, they slowly pull away without even realizing it. And that's why emotional distance can feel so personal, because you start blaming yourself for changes you didn't create alone. You wonder, am I not attractive anymore? Did I become boring? Did they stop loving me? And those thoughts slowly destroy your self-worth. But listen carefully. Not every emotional disconnection means you are unlovable. Sometimes people are battling internal wars they never learned how to communicate. And sometimes people outgrow the emotional version of themselves that once loved you well. That hurts. But it happens. And one of the saddest parts about emotionally distant relationships is how lonely they make people feel. You can be in the same bed, same house, same conversations, and still feel emotionally abandoned. That loneliness is heavy because humans don't only need physical presence, they need emotional presence too. We want to feel chosen, understood, emotionally safe. And when those things disappear, love starts feeling empty. And this is where many people break themselves emotionally. They start overgiving, over-explaining, over-loving, trying desperately to bring the connection back. But the painful reality is, you cannot force emotional intimacy from someone who has emotionally closed themselves off. No amount of begging can heal emotional unavailability. And this is the moment many people need to hear. Love should not constantly make you feel emotionally alone. Yes, every relationship goes through difficult seasons. But healthy love still makes effort, it still communicates, still reassures, still tries. And when someone completely stops trying emotionally, the relationship slowly becomes survival instead of connection. And surviving love is exhausting. You begin shrinking yourself emotionally just to avoid losing them. You stop expressing needs, stop speaking honestly, stop asking for reassurance. And eventually, you become emotionally distant from yourself too. That's the hidden damage of emotionally disconnected relationships. They don't only make you lose connection with someone else, they make you lose connection with yourself. But healing begins the moment you stop blaming yourself for someone else's emotional silence. You deserve relationships where emotional closeness feels natural, not forced, not begged for, not constantly uncertain. And one day, you'll understand something powerful. The right person won't make you feel lonely for loving them. They won't emotionally disappear every time life gets difficult. They'll communicate, stay present, and choose connection even during hard seasons. Because real love doesn't only stay physically, it stays emotionally too.